Tucker leads the Cubs to a win in Oakland or Sacramento or whatever those guys are these days. And I know Vegas eventually. But 4 straight games with home runs, and the Cubs are 500 for the first time on the season. So we're going to talk about what Kyle Tucker is bringing to the Cubs right now and how he's living up to the hype. And this team that has, picked up some momentum after a disappointing loss in Arizona in the final game there. Back-to-back shellackings of the A's. Feels pretty good. Let's go. Hey, everybody. Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel. Thank you for being here and hanging out. And we stayed up late, and we got what we wanted, a victory for the Cubs over the Oakland A's. So the Cubs take the first 2 games of the series. And it feels pretty good to get a rebound and then another game in the win column after the way that things went on Sunday. And the Cubs are finally 500 on the year. But let's start with exactly where this team is, and that is Kyle Tucker proving his value. And I tell you what, it's early in the season. I mean, we're not even 10 games in. But the bottom line is this. The Cubs gave up an enormous ransom to get this guy, and he is living up to it so far. And I know some of you guys are going, hey, look, you can compare the numbers to Paredes and to Smith, and so far Tucker is absolutely shellacking them. Yeah, I mean, right now that's where we're at. But look, we're only a week into the season. I think what's more important is that we're starting to see what he can mean to the Cubs lineup. And they gave up it's just a ton of talent to get him when you talk about not only the guys that they gave up in the trade, but then the guys that they gave up to get Paredes and then obviously the Bellinger thing. But if he goes out there and continues to perform, and I don't expect him to hit a home run in every single game, but I just like the fact that he is a thorn in the side of pitchers in that lineup every single day when he's out there. And he's something that we didn't have in the lineup last year. Bellinger a couple of years ago was close to this, but I don't think he has the power that Tucker has. Tucker's ability to hit off-speed pitches and fastballs out of the park. He always seems to be balanced at the plate. He's not afraid to walk. He's making pitchers really worry about where he is as far as the batting 9 is concerned. And the other thing is, look, the guy's playing for, basically enough money that his grandkids will never have to worry about it, right? I mean, he could make so much money that he couldn't spend it if he wanted to. If he has a just a huge season, if he just continues to break the bank with the numbers that he puts up, and he's playing like that. And these guys get into these contract seasons, and it's crazy how well they do play when they're put under that kind of pressure. So he's doing that right now. The Cubs are banking on him doing that. 4 straight games with a home run. And I feel like those home runs have been pretty pivotal for the Cubs and the way that things are going. So, where we're at right now, maybe not even through the first round of the season, but Kyle Tucker has been everything that you can imagine, plus more so far for the Cubs. Now, with the victory, the Cubs are 500, so that's 4 wins and 4 losses. The team bounced back from what was a demoralizing loss because they really should have won the game on Sunday against the Diamondbacks. I mean, they had the big lead late. They gave it away. But I'll tell you what, Justin Steele was the man of Steele. Wasn't his best outing, but it was good enough. And then, kind of when he got locked in, we saw the same Justin Steele that we recognized from a couple of years ago. He was able to pitch 7 innings or close to 7 innings in the game. That saved the bullpen. And honestly, after watching the bullpen over the last few years, it just saves me the stress of having to see the bullpen come in. Like, I don't want to see those guys. I'd rather just see the starter get a couple more outs and then limit the damage that they're able to come in and do by not getting outs. I mean, look, that's just the way it is. The Cubs haven't had a good bullpen in a while. They were good for a little while last year, but they weren't, for the long haul. And, to win games, you got to have great bullpen pitching. And so, if you can get close to 7 innings, then all of a sudden, you're looking at, needing 3 innings of worth of outs or 2, depending on you're at home, instead of, more than that. It seems like you kind of get down on that list. And you guys know this. The further you get down on the list, the worse it is, right? So, so keep that in mind as we, think about this season going on. Now, the big talk around baseball has been these, I call them bowling pin bats, but they're called, I guess the term is torpedo. And basically what it is, if you haven't seen this, is that the analytics guys have come up with these bats where they basically redistribute the bat so that the biggest part, like the barrel, is like specifically catered to where you hit the ball, right? So where the sweet spot is, they've made it bigger where you hit. It's like some of these golf clubs that you get, you got like the golf, the head of the golf driver is like huge, right? And it's actually benefited the hitters to have that. And I don't know, they're saying a guy from NIT or some physicists from NIT designed these bats, a guy named Professor Aaron Leanhart. And that, the Yankees, I mean, you saw them just absolutely scorch the Brewers with these bats. But, I'm really curious to see, first off, if these bats are going to stick and are they legal. But, to me, and I talked about it yesterday, you want offense, and by making the barrel of the bat a little bit fatter and thicker and guys hitting the ball with it, I don't know why you would be worried about that. I mean, it just, to me, feels like, I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, I mean, there's a certain height and weight, that these bats can be. If it's putting the ball in play more, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, we get to the point where, 1 out of every 3 guys is up there striking out or less, at least these guys are putting it in play. And for the Cubs, there were already a couple guys that were using these bats. Dansby Swanson is one of them. So when you got guys on this team that are doing it, the crazy part about baseball now is that you got people that are just constantly looking at the rules and trying to figure out how to skirt them. Right? How to get around them, how to change them, how to, exploit them. And this is just another example of that. These aren't the bats that we grew up swinging, but like I said before, what the sport needs is for the ball to be put in play more. So if having a weird bat with an ability for these guys to put the ball in play, is going to help do that, then, I'm not sitting over here complaining. It's definitely an odd looking bat compared to what we grew up with, but it's not a bad thing. And, we'll see. I mean, I got a feeling Major League Baseball is eventually going to step in and ban them, but we'll see what happens. Final thing is, there was some talk on MLB.com about the best Japanese pitcher in baseball. And are any of you guys surprised that it is Shota Imanaga? I thought that was, I figured that was pretty much as of today anyway, an easy one. Anthony Castrovins of MLB.com said, hey, I feel like Shota Imanaga is the best Japanese pitcher in the league. And he said it's not even close at the moment. I agree with that. Look, Yamamoto's good, and maybe Sasaki will be one of those guys. And there's a bunch of other Japanese pitchers as well. But the 31-year-old lefty's been just amazing. A .82 ERA and a .82 WHIP. And, the guy has just been great. 1 run, 3 hits in 11 innings. He just continues to do what we saw him do last year. He was the secret of the Cubs rotation. He helped the Cubs make a push for the playoffs. Even the games that he didn't factor in the decision, they overwhelmingly won. He was an all-star. He's just funny and colorful and in a slightly flamboyant. He's one of the guys that I think we all pull for the most because of the energy that it brings to the game every day. So I'm not surprised at all by that. And the Cubs got a great deal when he decided he wanted to sign with the Cubs. I think that's, when you look back at, what happened last year, that obviously is one of the best things that happened to the team, and what you're hoping is that Justin Steele and he kind of get locked into their best and are able to help lead this Cubs team to the postseason. So, look, win for the Cubs. Let's talk about the next game for the Cubs. I think that, back-to-back wins was great when you talk about the way that things went in Arizona. So a 7-4 final last game. What's up next for the Cubs? A little bit earlier than you would expect out in San Francisco, and it'll be Jameson Taillon, 0-1 with a 12.46 ERA, facing the A's. That's 2:35 Central Time. So we'll actually be out there pretty early today to get after it. Jeffrey Springs, 1-0 record, no earned runs allowed. So another one of those A's you're looking at and you're going, man, they must have traded for this guy. Oh yeah, they did, from the Rangers. And he's pretty good, and he's going to be tough on us. So we're going to have to be ready to go. So we'll be out with you guys after the game with another, show, seeing what's going on. But thank you for being here. Kyle Tucker is the man. For you guys to get in there and think that I'm against Kyle Tucker or I'm against the trade, that's not the truth. I'm just saying, for him to be, this is a trade that it's not just about what he does this year. It's if they can sign him, and then also all the talent that they lost. But if they make the playoffs and this guy's a big part of it, hey, I got no problem with it. And I love the way that he's performing right now. So you guys tell me in the comments section, like, subscribe, thumbs up, and we'll do it again, man. But nice win. Go Cubs.